Welcome back to my Unreal Engine first-person animation tutorial series. Today we're going to animate our first-person hands and put it in our character, and then make some animations with the desert eagle we've rigged last part. So this is the second part. If you haven't seen the first part, I've leave a link here in the video, I don't know, and let's get started. So we have our first person folder here with blueprints, and here's our first person character, and we already have set up that we have advanced locomotion system but in first person. So here's the desert eagle, and now we start, and we start with the animation. So let's go to our folder, and here's the FPS tutorial folder. So now there's a link in the description or in the comments where I've linked this file. These are the base animation blend file, and yeah, you can see the first person hand, and it's an IK rig. So yeah, you can see when I move the arm or when I move the hand, the arm will move with it, so it's easier to animate. So the second thing you have to download is a plugin for Blender. So go to Edit and go to Preferences, and then under Add-ons you click on Install, and then you're gonna download the plugin in the comments or description, I don't know where I've linked it. Click install and get your file, and click install add-on, and then check if the Mr. Mannequin's tools are checked in add-ons. Alright, so now I just go ahead and copy this file for me and go into my tutorial folder, and here I create another folder called FP Animations. Alright, here I paste the file, and I create another folder called Desert Eagle, and I copy it another time and paste it here and rename it to FP Desert Eagle Animations, like this. Let's open it up, and it's the same as the other. So get your weapon collection here, press File, Import FBX, and now we search for our weapon Desert Eagle, SK Desert Eagle, and let's import it. Here's our rig Desert Eagle, so everything should look fine and you can animate it. Alright, so go back to object mode and grab the armature, not the mesh or the meshes. Just select the armature and move the armature, so everything will move with it. So let's get started and pose our weapon. So enable snapping, and I put it like here and a bit to the front. Alright, now we have to put our hands onto the weapon. So let's start with the right hand. Grab this bone here, and let's go from the side, and let's move it like here and bring the weapon a little bit back. Alright, grab your armature from the mannequin and move the hand onto the weapon. Alright, like this. This should look pretty good. So I'll just save the snapping real quick, and yeah. So let's start with the thumb and pose it It's a bit in the mesh stuck, so you can see that is the half of the thumb is in the mesh. So let's move it a little bit away. Just enable here a local transform, and now I think this looks good for the thumb. Let's grab our weapon and put it a little bit up, like so. And now we go for the other finger. So like this. Like so. Alright. This looks fine, I think. Yes. Now the now the other fingers. So let's go with this finger. If you have questions or something, just leave in the comments. I will answer them all. And also ideas for our next videos, leave in the comments below. So I think this looks good. My fingers are posed pretty well. So now just have a look and click on animation. So here we can see on the left side is our first person view from this camera. And the right side we can animate it. So just go into object mode, click on your armature, then click under object constraint, add an object constraint and call it child of, and then select your armature, and the bone will be hand_R. Now it's go away, so set inverse, and we bring it back and go into pose mode, and let's pose our weapon. So a little bit up, a little bit to the middle. Whoa, let's move this so this looks better. And yeah, let's have a quick watch. Let's have a quick look for other animations. So let's look under Desert Eagle first person animation and look for references. So I think this is from CSGO. Yeah. Or this. It looks also like CSGO. Alright. Okay. This looks good, and this also. So let's do it like in the way as Mr. Brightside done it. So it looks pretty nice. I think it was like a little bit here. The weapon was pretty up. And let's move the arm, the shoulder, a bit to the back. And like so. Yeah. A little bit to the center. Alright, so when you move this a little bit bigger, you can see it looks quite good. So now we move on and go with the other hand. So grab your other bone for the other hand and let's bring it here to our weapon. Oh wow. Like this and this, like so. So now I think you grab a weapon like more from the bottom, not from the side. So like this a little bit and this. Yeah, I think that should like this, and then we have to move the thumb again. Alright, not that much, I guess. Alright. So now let's move our fingers. You can use these red things here, so it will automatically rotate the other finger parts. It's a bit easier. Alright. Okay. So, think this looks fine. So now let's go ahead, and when we move our right hand, we want that the left will move with it. So click on this bone from the left hand, click on bone constraint, add a child of, and select the armature and the bone hand R and set inverse. So now it will move with it. So let's create a base pose. A little more here, and let's move the arm a little bit back, and also this. This looks good. And now click on action editor here, so not dope sheet, action editor, and click new, and we call the action idle. Click fake user to save it, and press A to select everything, and E to insert, and we click location and rotation. So this is our base pose, and we used ALS, so we have a little camera shake when we stand here, because the mannequin is breathing. You can see it. So we don't have actually to create an idle animation with breathing in the arms, because when we attach the arms to the character, it will automatically look like an idle animation. So just leave this one keyframe here and just click File, Export Mr. Mannequin's FBX. So this won't work if you haven't installed the add-on. So click on Action Prefix and we call it FP space Desert Eagle, and just leave another space here and then click OK. So now when we go into our folder, we see the FP Desert Eagle underscore idle. So go into Unreal, click on first person, and just go to mesh, first person arms and animations, and just delete those animations because they are shit. Then go into the NMBP and delete those, compile and save, and let's create another folder, call it Desert Eagle, and import our animation. So for the skeleton, it will be the SK Mannequin Arms skeleton. So import, and here you can see your animation. Alright, so now let's go ahead and click here on the skeleton and click on preview animation and get your Desert Eagle animation. And now look on the skeleton tree and look for hand R, right click, add socket, and we call the socket Desert Eagle underscore socket. So right click the socket, add preview asset, Desert Eagle, so here it is, and let's bring it into position. So look from the top and enable lit mode, and let's move it, disable snapping, look from the right, so from the front, like so. Okay, go into perspective mode. Let's have a quick watch if everything looks fine. Okay. Alright, it looks good. So let's look from the top. Alright, it's not that straight, so disable rotation snapping, and yeah, this is good. From the font, let's rotate that let's look that the crosshair here is right, so this dot is in the middle. This is important. Okay, so let's save and go into your character BP, and now we implement the first person arms. So we click on camera and let's rename it to FP camera, and then we're gonna add a spring arm, set the target arm length to 0, and now you can add a skeletal mesh and call it FP arms, and just select your mannequin arms, and just for a test, use animation asset and grab your desert eagle animation. Let's bring the arms into the position. So I think the position of the mesh will be the right position, so let's copy it onto the arms like this. Oh no, it's not the same, but alright. I think it's because we have the parent circuit here, so let's move it manually into position, bring it down, and let's have a quick watch. This is looking pretty good. Let's set these values to 0, also 0 and minus 170, and the rotation 0, 0 and minus 90. So this is looking pretty good. Now we can add our weapon. So I just go ahead and click on our FPS arms and click add, and we add a scene. The scene name will be items, and now let's close these. Under items we create a child actor, and we call it weapon. So let's set the class to Desert Eagle and the parent socket. Oh, alright. So let's the class. So alright. So let's go into construction script and set and add a sequence here with S, and then go ahead and say attach component to component, and the target will be our weapon and the parent is our mesh. No, the parent is our FPS arms. Alright, and then for the socket name, let's say for now Desert Eagle underscore socket, and say on every rule snap to target. Let's compile and let's save. And now we have our Desert Eagle here. So let's have a quick watch into Blender. Like this. It's looking quite the same. The rotation of the Desert Eagle is a bit, so let's bring it a bit down, and let's go ahead and look from the front. Yeah, alright, this is looking good. So let's look from the top and just bring our Desert Eagle a bit more to the right. So yeah, I think this is looking good. The weapon is a bit stuck in the hands, so let's fix it real quick. Okay, yeah, this is looking good, but now when we rotate or when we look around, you see that the arms are static and not moving like a human, so it's looking weird. It's looking unrealistic. So we have the spring arm here, and we don't want to make a whole camera lag with the spring arm, because in a way that this is looking bad. So in a future part we will create a better camera lag, so when we look around, the hands will move smoothly to our camera position, so it's looking realistic. But for now, let's save everything and go under the spring arm to lag and enable camera lag. So set the lag speed to 20 and the maximum distance to 10. Let's look if this is looking good. So now we can see when we rotate, the arms will move a bit with it. And when we now walk, this is looking a bit awkward. So let's say for the maximum distance set to 5. Alright. Maybe to 2. Yeah, this is good. So we can see when we rotate it, this is looking pretty good. And when we walk, we also can see that the weapon is moving a little bit with it. So we don't have to create a idle animation or a walk animation, because ALS will make it with us. So yeah, with the camera lag, you can see it's quite easy. So we have a small problem here. We have our first person arms, but we can see our arms from the character. So just go ahead and grab your mesh, hide bone by name, and the bone name will be clavicle_L, and another time call it clavicle_R. And let's put it here, compile and save. And now we can't see our arms anymore, and I think this is looking good. So I hope the tutorial will help you, and in the next part we will go ahead and look for procedural aiming. So we won't create for every scope an aim animation. We only make one function that is called procedural aim. So we only have to set the position, and when we have other scopes, it will aim. So it's quite easy to make it, and you don't have to create hundreds of scope aim animations, so it's quite easy. And in the future we will also create that we can shoot with the weapon, and also we can create new weapons. So if you like the tutorial, leave a like and write some ideas in the comments below, and see you in the next part. So have a good day. Bye bye.